All right, time to get some work done. Basic plan is I've got the next 3 to 4-ish days before we have a really bad cold snap. So it's been in the mid 30s, pretty weak. So I'm going to take that opportunity to, I've been contemplating for a long time, do I want to do this? Which way do I want to go? Do I want to do where I fill the bench? That was my original sort of plan. And then I started thinking about masonry heaters. So kind of a hybrid. So I'm at that point now that well, actually, I can make it a masonry, and I could always fill it in later anyway, so it doesn't matter. But basically, that's what I kind of the reason I'm going to do it. I want to try it. Right now, I'll show, and once I get it apart, all these blocks are just sitting here. There's no mortar or anything connecting these, and then inside is a. I guess I can do this. You can see right there. No, that comes out there. Now you can see it. You can see that that box coming in, or going out rather, out of what I call the smoke well, under the barrel. So the path is a J, goes up out the center inside and comes out around the outside of the barrel, goes down and then through that box, and then that's a conversion just to a round standard ducking. Makes that U shape. Well, yeah, you can see right there, not mortared together, just sitting there. And then you can't really see that. Daggone flash. Then it comes up and goes out. There's a clean out right there. So what I'm going to do is enclose, well, probably only up to here. I think right now I'll probably just leave that there. It's going to be, I think, a lot of work, especially I'm running this right now, so it's hot. And so I'll just be working around these tubes, but you know, these tubes just running at for the ducks anyway, running at regular temperature. Right now you can see, because I should have just left that on. This really doesn't tell you, I mean, it's more for me to know kind of how hot it is. The most I've had this up to is 500. And, I mean, it's roaring at that point. But between 300 and 400, I think, is probably when it's operating the best. I've got a good fire going in there. That brick right there gets, you know, can get up to about 160. So, you know, there's definitely heat up here, but basically the air is going down, behind, around, and into the firebox. And so I kind of I take 2 of these green heat blocks, stack them staggered, and then I got some cherry pits and some wood pellets, kind of experimenting with the cherry pits. I kind of like them, I kind of don't like them for various reasons. I just installed this. This is, if you want to say install, it's a thermoelectric generator fan. Pretty standard with wood stove stuff, but thermoelectric generator, it's actually kind of an older technology. I don't know why they don't use it more for things. It's pretty interesting, but you can see that wafer in there. You need a differential, a temperature differential between the top and the bottom, and then it pops out whatever voltage it's designed for. Probably, this is probably 12 volts. And you can use them either way. You can use them to cool something down or to heat something up. It's kind of, reverse polarity in a sense. But yeah, all this, heat sink stuff here is just to transmit the heat from the base to one side of this, and then it's trying to get a differential between the top and the bottom. So this is the hot side, the cool side. So it ends up putting out a voltage in order to run this this fan. So yeah, and then I just have a couple of pans of water. Just, you can see they're nasty and dirty because they are outside. It's not like I'm eating out of them. They're just trying to get a little moisture in the air so it's not so dry in here. Anyway, I just got really sidetracked. But I see one of these. Yeah, this comes out. There's enough of a gap where I can slip this out. So you can see, I wasn't sure how hot it was going to get in there initially, so I put some regular clay brick underneath, because obviously it's going to be hottest here. But really, this ductwork in here doesn't, unless I'm really firing it hard, it doesn't get above, it's around 100, 120, something like that. I have gotten it up to 200, right here, but, as it's traveling, it loses that heat really quick. And then by the time it's exiting here, on the low side, it's around 90 degrees. On the high side, the most I've seen, it was 140 or something. That you're really pumping. But average is probably 100 to 110 when, everything's warmed up and functioning. So basically what I'm going to do is dismantle all this, leave the stove running, and that tube is just kind of levitated in there, up on bricks and stuff. And I'm going to attempt to work around it, start on the back side, and use mortar and actually make basically what you see here, but mortar it in. Then I'll put the blocks on their sides instead of standing vertically, so that it's easier to install them. The top, I won't mortar. I think I'm going to put a strip of butyl rubber between each one to seal it. We'll see how that works. Or some this black silicone stuff I use on the roof works. Seems like it will work pretty good. Because again, I don't think this is the surface up here will get more than 120, 130. But the idea is so that instead of the ductwork, you just make a cavity. And so then it would allow the heat to rise directly up onto the bottom of the blocks, and all the smoke would be up on it, rather than having to transmit this. See this gap right there, this gap right here. So it'll just be right here, maybe here, to keep the clean out. I don't know. I haven't decided that. It's not that big a deal just to remove the barrel. But anyway, it'll just open, the ductwork will stop, and then the smoke will just freely flow through here, and then, do do the same thing there where it attaches back to the ductwork. To carry on through, and then in a masonry heater you basically make restrictions. You make it a convoluted path so that the smoke has to kind of do, you know, different around turns and stuff. That way it's hitting more blocks, and then, you know, you can make verticals on the roof or on the ceiling in there so that it comes up to it and only the cold air will pass underneath to the next ventricle. So there's a kind of a combination, and again, I want to do it kind of in a modular way to do some testing. That's why I don't want this all shut closed. And you really, for, you know, to be able to clean it out and stuff, you don't want it, you know, all mortared shut anyway. So ideally, if I had some bigger panels instead of a bunch of individual bricks, but this is what I have to deal with right now. Maybe later I figure out something different. Some people, you know, you can form, you know, probably need to use rebar and stuff, but you can form big concrete plates, and I just don't want to mess with any of that right now. I'm doing forms and all that junk. I just want to basically just mortar the walls and call it good, and start from there, see how the draft is. There's always the concern that the draft won't be fast enough. Even with the current ducking, once I get down here, from there, from that end to that end, which is, I think it's like 5 or 6 feet before it goes up. It goes up about, I don't know, it's 2 or 3 degrees, just to give it a little help going up. I don't even know that that's necessary. It wouldn't be, as long as you have enough draft. Now I can, in the event of a cold start where everything is just frozen cold, you have to do, you have to start a fire, not start a fire, but you can use a candle or burn a piece of paper down in that clean out down there, and then that, you know, does a draft. I mean, you do that in a regular old school potbelly stove or something to get a draft going. Sometimes that's necessary. Depends on the stove. But so yeah. So I need to be able to have this downtime of where I'm not having to fire it too much. Because it's so warm out, and I don't think it'll take me terribly long to do this task. I don't think, but like I said, I got 3.5 days to do it. So, all right. Well, I'll open it up and then we can see what's inside.